Hello and welcome to Summoner, part 37. And in this part we'll be finally finishing off this forsaken forest. There's not really much to do here. We have to talk to the keeper of the shrine and also face a few enemies coming up. Yeah, I'm afraid Emperor Murad is still on our tails. And I do wonder if this is an oversight, but the boss music from the two riders fight, it's still playing. Isn't it meant to fade out once they're defeated? You know, this area of the forest seems unnecessarily wide open.
Stronger.
Now, as you know, anyone who's in this forest is poisoned until they speak to the healer at the end. And I did hear of a glitch where if you leave this forest, you remain poisoned forever. Which I'm not sure how that works, or how to activate that glitch. But of course I didn't really want to risk it. I think you do it is, well, when you leave this forest you have to talk to the shrine keeper to heal yourself. But if you leave without talking to him, you sort of end up on the world map and you're still poisoned. And then we have the talk of time, which makes you faster, but yeah, I wouldn't really bother with speed in this game, just go for power. But here we have it, a rather glorious looking pad here. Excuse me, we're looking for Radagast the Brown. Does he live in this forest? Yep, and you just talk to him and he heals your poison. He cures your poison, I should say. He's the man with the antidote. In fact, you might even call him the Mantidote. But yeah, you go on about the Jade Prophecy and, you know, I'm the chosen one, blah blah blah. And so on and so forth. But yeah, he does explain to us once we get this ring we need to now confront Murad, which we will. Oh, and yep, looks like Murad's men are about to attack us. Now, again, this is kind of different for the game because it's essentially like a gauntlet boss fight. Anyway, very important, cast Protect, which it does become one of my favourite spells. But particularly because I find enemies in this game, they seem to attack you a lot more with physical attacks rather than magic. You know, so you cast Protect and it protects your whole party from physical damage. Extremely useful. In fact, I think that's why I get a slightly, you know, I have a slight easier time with boss fights. But then we start off with this one guy. Who trips over, and I think that's, of course, that's a Jakar with the Debaser weapon. A chance of tripping enemies. Extremely useful. And you can see here, it's just a sort of gauntlet where you fight enemies and then you get wave after wave of them. Each one increasing in difficulty. Okay, men, shall we attack them all at once? Now let's send in a couple at a time in ascending difficulty. Why? Well, it's more fair that way, sir. Oh, enemies, you will never learn. Well, I do have to wonder, these guys are wearing green. So are they with Emperor Murad? Or was that just an oversight on the, you know, the people who made this game? But then again, I guess you're only a member of the Jade Order if you're wearing like a bright green uniform.
Wow.
Now, as for the Celestial Samurai, I guess he's sort of useful here. He just provides a good, an extra bit of physical support. Now something I've tried here is to cast silence on these mages, because they do heal enemies. And I'm not sure if it's taken, but anyway. I guess the idea here is that Fleece will keep the healers busy, while my melee fighters will just chip away at their health. Like this guy, he's sort of attacking me with a giant fishbone. Oh, here we go, here comes Wento and his soldiers. So, hang on, which one of you is Wento? Because I think he was supposed to be a main character or something. But anyway, I guess this is the final combination. 2 warriors and 2 mages. Oh God, look at the bodies piling up. You know, it looks like the Oni will have a big feast tonight. We could start a bonfire of all these bodies here. But yeah, there's not really much advice I can give you here. I just fight the way you've been fighting. You know, I guess the downside of this,
a clever one.
I guess the downside of this game is there isn't too much. There isn't a good variety in strategies. It's like pretty much each character has a role. They do have their own diversity, but yeah, you're going to use Rosaline as a healer. You're going to use Jakar as a melee fighter. You're going to use Fleece as a backstabbing rogue. Jakar, well, Joseph can actually do a bit of all 3, I suppose. But yeah, there you go. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Success.
Ooh, now, I think one of these guys leaves a very cool item.
Flap. Success.
Ah, the Kishin Impaler. A sword that has the small chance of essentially casting death. But unfortunately, it's only got 50 power, so it is fairly weak. But yeah, essentially, I don't really use it because, yeah, I don't like weapons that have a chance of casting death, because most of the time they'll just fail. In fact, if you level up your dark magic, you can actually learn a death spell. But yeah, I don't bother with it because it's too unreliable. And now, speaking of which, you also need to talk to this guy for a side quest, and he will give you the tree bark. And of course, this will help out that guy in the Pursued by Death side quest. Now, before I go, I just want to have a quick look at this guy's house here. Yeah, and it is like a cool environment. It's like a little. he lives in a tree house. This is awesome. And I like how this is a forest, but there's only really one proper tree here. But anyway, around the back here we see the exit. I'm sure the characters are thinking to themselves, why didn't we just come in this way? Would have saved us a lot of trouble. But yep, I just wanted to check we weren't poisoned. Ooh, and I just noticed my party members are like level 21. They're actually higher than I thought they were. But yeah, at this point I'm not really sure what to level up on Fleece. I'm looking at this and I really think I should really level up her magic resist. It's really, really low. And I think that's a really terrible weakness. Yeah, although you just saw in their stats that their magic resist is really high. It's like 80-90%. So essentially, most of my party have nothing to fear against magic users. But anyway, back on the world map, and I have a random encounter. And what luck, it's Alang. Now, to complete the Pursued by Death side quest, you give this guy the tree bark. Now, if you want to, you can also run into the cat that's also chasing him. And you can also give the cat some tree bark yourself. and that will gain you more experience points, which is something I do later on. But essentially, you only need to give the tree bark to Alang to complete the side quest. And I just double check, and yep, it's disappeared from the quest journal. So, yep, it must be completed. So many side quests, but actually a lot of them are about to be completed. Oh my! I can't believe they still haven't cleared up all these dead bodies. But anyway, you go back to Nandi and give her the Bane's Kiss, which is the flower, and not a euphemism for jamming a piece of metal in her face. And in return, she will give you Nandi's potion. A potion which will grant you the ability of regeneration. I mean, will cast a status of regeneration on you. And the thing is that really worth it? I mean, you know, I can already cast regeneration myself. I kind of wonder, is this like a special type of regeneration or something? And I kind of feel that would have been really useful in the dungeon, you know, just before the dungeon we just went off into. You know, the dungeon where we're constantly poisoned. You know, a dungeon where the ability to regenerate health would have been useful. But yeah. Oh, by the way, you talk to her and yeah, just let her know what you've done, and yeah, that completes the family tradition side quest. Now we go up to the house on the corner here, and we just give Longu his hat back. He is a silly guy, leaving his hat in some kind of demonic forest. You know, I think he was running away from some guards, so it's like, you know, either face the guards or run into a demonic forest. Yeah, it is actually quite a hard choice. And he gives us a well-honed katana. Thanks, Longu. You know, I like how all these villagers and such have really deadly weapons just lying around.